Hi, my name is Mike Sheldon. I'm co-founder of Strapmish, Pennies In and Millions Out Fantasy Sports. I'm a co-founder with Phil Gavant. Phil Gavant's the actual creator of the gaming structure. He's actually got a degree in mathematics with a concentration in game theory. I'm a business degree person, very interested in building businesses and doing great things for our communities, as Phil and I are very focused on the ability to grow a great business, but also give back to our communities, and I'll explain that as I go forward a little bit. My goal with this video is to take about 10 to 15 minutes and really give you an overview of who we are, what we do, what our product looks like, and how it could work into a casino environment. We've built a franchise system where we have a national tournament, but really have the ability to take a regional gaming structure into your casino, develop both your markets on the foot traffic into your property, as well as web traffic to your website. And when I introduced the concept of fantasy sports, just to give you some overviews of how large this industry is, this is an article from Forbes magazine, which illustrates about a 32 million person market and a $15 billion industry. And the analysis that Forbes did in this article says a $15 billion industry for fantasy sports is actually bigger than the market of the NFL itself. With the NFL being at $10 billion, the derivative market of fantasy sports is actually larger. And my question to you as I introduce the topic is, are you getting a piece of that action? In the online space of fantasy sports, has it resonated into your casino traffic, into your on-site web traffic? What does it look like for you if you had the ability to franchise or partner with a company that could put more people into your front door and providing a great, exciting opportunity for your current customer base? If you look at the Fantasy Sports Trade Association, which is about a 15-year history, they've done some statistics and put out some reports, and it's just a phenomenal industry. 1 in 5 men play fantasy sports. And it's not just fantasy football. By far, fantasy football is about 77% of the overall market, but it's a multi-sport industry worldwide, even domestically, between baseball, basketball, NASCAR, World Cup soccer, World Cup rugby. There's a great growth opportunity to really reach out and provide an exciting opportunity for your customer base to do something exciting that they're already playing somewhere, but maybe just not with you. And as we build this fantasy sports product, I'll explain a little bit about our product and what we've built, and really the genesis of what that was. Phil, being a professional mathematician, he looked at what happened in the industry of the World Series of Poker and online poker. And we looked at some of the growth. I put a little bit of a chart here together to show you. From 2000 to 2005, the growth went from 1 to 10 million people playing online poker. And Phil looked at that and said, what happened? That's the quantity of people, but the actual growth of the industry became a $1 billion industry overnight. Within that period of time, something happened. And Phil, being the analysis that he can do, looked at this and said, if we can take the ingredients and take the formulas and take the algorithms, whatever that gaming structure was that created this overnight success in the World Series of Poker, and apply it to an even bigger market, 34 million people playing fantasy football, what could happen into the future? How big could this really be? What would those ingredients look like? And throughout his analysis, some things kept coming up, and perhaps you're familiar with this gentleman, Chris Moneymaker. Chris Moneymaker was the first amateur in 2003 to win the World Series of Poker. He qualified online for a low entry fee to go and beat the big boys and win multi-million-dollar grand prize in Las Vegas. He was the first amateur to do so. As he was the first amateur, the second amateur, Greg Raymond, in the next year also won the World Series of Poker. That created a growth that has been unprecedented, a $1 billion industry in 5 short years. When Phil started to analyze this, he noticed in the landscape of the current fantasy football sports, they were missing all these ingredients. There's 7 different ingredients Phil identified as these should be inherent in any game and any tournament structure that's going to really have the ability to grow fast. The first 2 I put up here, and I'll go over the next 5 in a moment, really it's the moneymaker effect. That being a low entry fee with the ability to qualify into a prize structure of multi-million dollars. But it's not enough, especially if you value your intellect and skill as a fantasy football player. You don't want luck to be involved. The current the landscape for fantasy sports right now with any kind of large grand prize is you've got to compete with thousands of people simultaneously to be able to win that grand prize. And no self-respecting fantasy football player wants to be put in a pool of thousands of people to try to win a multi-million-dollar grand prize. It takes the element of skill out and makes it more of a lottery and a luck effect. What Phil's built into his gaming structure is the ability to have small quantities of people, specifically 12. 12 people play together. If you're in the top 3, you advance. That takes skill and makes it a predominant factor. Besides the moneymaker effect, the actual gaming features have to be there to really have the growth that you would want for your customer base. Those being a 2-tiered format, the ability to have re-entries, the ability to allow to compete simultaneously in multiple rounds. It builds excitement into the game. The game itself could stand alone, but when you take those gaming structures and the fanaticism of the excitement of the game and apply the moneymaker effect, it's golden. It's the coup de grace of being able to be fantasy sports and make it an exciting game where people really have a buy-in and the ability to believe they can win and have achieved success in the game. When we've built this, the 2-tiered components look like this, and this is where you could see yourself potentially coming in as a casino operator and saying, well, how could I partake in this? What's it look like? What's it feel like? Our gaming structure is 2-tiered. The first being what we've termed scrambles. A $100,000 scramble. It's held and defined by the NFL season, regular season, and that $100,000 scramble is a prize structure that allows you to compete during the regular season and be excited, and multiple entry points and multiple different prizes, but the ultimate is the $100,000 winner. And the ability at that point to qualify for the main event. The qualification to the main event is now something that you can market to your customer base. In essence, saying to them, play fantasy sports either on our website or on location at our property, which I'll explain in a moment. Have the ability to win $100,000 throughout the season, the regular season, but get the golden ticket. Qualify for the main event with a multi-million-dollar grand prize sponsored by you, sponsored by your casino. And with that 2-tiered structure and the ability to compete, this is just a fantasy football environment, you have a very obvious opportunity to really get excitement and people excited about coming into your casino and playing your game. When I describe this, we've put ourselves in a position where we've taken the fanaticism of fantasy football, the popularity of the NFL, and the impact of the moneymaker effect and put a smack dab in the middle. We're looking for partners to share in that excitement and say that they would like to help us grow and reach their marketplace and offer a great product to somebody that says, I'm already playing fantasy football, but why am I not playing through my popular casino? Why am I not playing through my favorite casino opportunity? And I say, here's what we're looking to do. The distribution and price structure is where you would come in. Our entire goal, and I'm sure it is yours too, increase foot traffic into your casino. But that's the primary goal, with a couple opportunities to do even bigger things, whether it be web traffic for your site. If you're currently marketing concerts or hotels or slot tournaments or any kind of poker play, the ability to have someone stay on your website longer. Fantasy football players put in about 9 hours a week into analyzing fantasy football teams. That could be spent on your website. If you have a definition of a high roller, we actually have an opportunity to have specific games built for customized audiences, be it 10, 20, or 200 people, that create them needing to be at the casino to play this game. As I move forward a little bit, this is where I would say we can customize a lot for you. I'm putting out an example of a price structure, and I think you can see inherent into price structure is the requirement that they come on property. What we'd expect as far as a partnership with somebody is that they use their current distribution channels to market this product, whether it be postcards, billboards, mailers, online email blasts, whatever it is you already do to market to a current database of people. Instead of advertising concerts, or in addition to advertising, whether it be radio or whatever media you're currently using, is put a fantasy football opportunity out there. With this being the game plan, which will be hosted by us for our fantasy football tournament, but put out different price structures that once they play online, in the online environment, they're required to come into the casino to actually redeem whatever it is you've determined to offer. As I put it in earlier, advancing around means you compete with 12 people. If you're in the top 3, you win something. By definition, that's 25% of the people. If you could create an audience of 10,000 people through your casino efforts of marketing to play into this game, by definition, 2,500 of the 10,000 are going to advance or win something. As they continue to advance every round, they have a higher prize money. These prizes are insurable, as they're not guaranteed, because we don't have a guarantee that someone's going to be in the top 3 of 12, 10 consecutive rounds. But as they continue to advance, they have the ability to win greater and greater prizes, insured. If this is something that piques your interest, I can give you the actual costing of that. But right now, we have the ability to say, offer a $100,000 scramble with the ability to win a multi-million-dollar grand prize for pennies on the dollar, and really have you advertise a very high gaming structure for fantasy sports that does not require much overhead at all. As I go through the gaming structure, this is what the site would actually look like. There's actually 2 entry points. The obviously entry point is an online presence. As we've built our website, we would have your specific casino offering Stratmish Fantasy Football with your prize structure and everything. Our responsibility is to make it work. Put the product behind the scene, run the guts of the program, and have the website something exciting, dynamic, creating web traffic, and as people win, get you a database and more player card action of people coming into the casino. The second entry point besides online is an actual physical presence at the casino. Separate from the cage, building a kiosk system, tablet devices, we have the ability, and this is patented material that we have for casino, to actually have an interaction between our gaming structure and a player card tracking mechanism integrated into your current ability to track and define your customer base and your demographics. This is an enhanced ability to know more about your customer base, more about what they like, more about what they do, more about their behaviors. With this kiosk system on site, it's pretty awesome. With the ability to have, live action football on any given Sunday or Thursday night or Monday night football, this is something that people can come in and actually redeem what they've won, print out their voucher, take it to the cage, play more action on a slot machine. The voucher could be for hotel stays, concert tickets, free restaurant vouchers, slot play, cash itself, determined by you and what you would like to offer to your customer base. On the big overview, we're starting with fantasy football. It is by far the most popular fantasy sports game there is. We're right in the middle of that. Well, we're in week 2 of the NFL season right now. And when I define the NFL regular season as 17 weeks, but you only need to win 10 rounds to actually qualify for a scramble, that should indicate this. We don't need to start week 1 or 2 or week 3. We can begin in the middle of the season and still have somebody excited to play this game and qualify rounds and get them into the property. The future is even beyond fantasy sports though. Phil being the genius he is and the sports enthusiast that he is, we've got about 30 different games and 30 different sports and over 100 different games. Fantasy football is our first launch, but we'll begin in March of 2015 with NCAA March Madness. Something that definitely you're already probably interested in getting people into the casino or your environment, whether it be a casino or a sports franchise or a restaurant chain. Getting people in the front door is the priority. The ability to do that through fantasy sports is phenomenal, whatever sport may be most popular for you. If you'd like more information, we have an entire business plan and really a lot more information, but I wanted to have an initial introductory video. I can easily be reached by cell phone or my email to make sure we can correspond with you a little bit, get you some more information, more pricing structures, an actual example of what a return on investment could look like for you in a partnership with our franchise. So thank you very much.